want to bring in our grassroots political analyst, Matthew Hurtt. He is joining us now. And Matthew, a couple of things real quick. One of the breaking news stories right now that I see is that Vladimir Zelensky is out there, and he is saying that Donald Trump can force Vladimir Putin to make peace. I'm reasonably certain that if Donald Trump could force Vladimir Putin to make peace, he would have done it a long time ago.
Yeah, this is an interesting breaking news item. I'm not sure, President Trump did say that he was going to solve the Ukraine-Russia conflict when he got elected. Foreign diplomacy is a little more complicated than some of the domestic matters. But I think that, it's a great question, Dan, and it's a lot of layers, and I don't think that is exactly true. But I do think that America benefits and Europe benefits with a diminishment of conflict. The Ukrainian territory has been in question for hundreds of years. Many of the people align themselves with Russian culture. This part of Eastern Europe has changed borders many times over the last several hundred years, and it's just a complicated matter. I think this is Zelensky playing politics. And there's a lot more underlying the question than what he is proposing.
Yeah, I just to be honest, I'm no fan of Zelensky or Vladimir Putin, and we'll see how that meeting on Friday goes. One of the things that we've got CNN on in the studio, and I just saw a poll that they had, Harry Enton, and how excited he gets about his numbers. But what he said was, and I want to get your opinion on this and how this might impact the midterm elections. I know we're a long way away, but who do you trust with inflation more, the Democrats or the Republicans? And this was across all voters. 13 Republicans were over the Democrats. 13% or something like that were over where they were before. Democrats were only at +1. In other words, far more people are trusting of the Republicans with the economy and inflation than the Democrats. How do you think that is going to play in the midterm elections?
I do think that more Americans trust Republicans with the economy than they do with Democrats, and particularly right now where many Americans outside of the Beltway want Washington to have, they were supportive of DOGE cuts. They're supportive of reining in the federal government. Anytime the average American interacts with the federal government, it is to pay taxes or because they're not allowed to do something. And so I think that generally Americans trust Republicans on inflation and on government matters more than Democrats. But another item that poll that CNN had earlier in July said that Democrats were more motivated. So that is what we're going to be looking at. In addition to just the issues, right now Democrats are a little more motivated, and that's because Donald Trump's policies are disproportionately impacting Democrats negatively. We've seen a small jump in unemployment in Northern Virginia, and most of the people who are being laid off or who are having a negative effect of government policy are Democrats. So again, it's still too early to tell. From week to week, this is going to change, but this is part of the narrative as we head into the midterms.
All right, so real quick, you went viral again yesterday, Matthew Hurtt, and it's a video, and my audio up, Sam? So there's this video of, I guess it's one of your friends there at the Arlington GOP. Remind me, you're a higher up in the Arlington GOP there in Virginia, right?
So I'm the chairman, and 79% of my neighbors voted for Kamala Harris, so I will accept your condolences. This is worse than Memphis. But this is a coworker actually at Leadership Institute. We train conservatives. Our headquarters is in Arlington, and what you're about to tee up is an interaction that one of my coworkers had with a guy who was skulking outside our office. He was lying in wait on a bench about 15 feet from our office front door. And this is what happened.
All right, so listen to this.
That's enough. Kill all Nazis! We won World War II! Fuck!
All right, so there you go. I dumped it. All right, so the guy also launched an F-bomb. I got it. It's okay, Sam. And we also cut it off. So Yeah, we got it.
I'm on the Howard Stern show today.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Sam, it's been great working with you, Sam.
He said fudge. I don't know what he's talking about.
Actually, I pulled it down before it got to the end. Anyway, whatever. So we all get the drill. This guy is yelling big time at, kill all Nazis and all that kind of stuff. And I guess my question is, why can't these people just be normal?
I love living in Arlington. I cannot tell you what percentage of my neighbors are one untoward interaction with a Republican away from a total public meltdown.
Yeah.
I am under the impression, from what I've been able to find out on social media, we haven't identified him yet. The whole reason I call into this show, Dan, is because of an interaction I had in 2023, and we were able to identify that gentleman pretty quickly. But people online say they've seen this gentleman outside of the Heritage Foundation. He may be, in fact, a paid antagonist. And we haven't seen him since. This happened on Monday afternoon. I like to step out of the office and take a peek a couple of times just to see, now that we know what he looks like. But Arlington is like the Twilight Zone. The people listening to this program have likely never lived in a place as hostile to conservatives as where I live. And honestly, I embrace it because I've got a strong set of principles and values. I'm on offense on what I believe. And also we get these lovely viral moments where I get to expose these total wackos and show the American people that these folks are living in a bubble and they cannot possibly interact with people outside their own ideology.
I just don't understand, and I know that I've said this so many times, friends, but I don't understand how nobody on the left, although they probably don't care, but when they're calling Republicans Nazis, how they don't see that as anti-Semitic because they're sanitizing what the Nazis did. I don't understand how they don't see that.
Well, absolutely, and it speaks to the humanization. There's a Hill-based networking app in D.C. for congressional staffers that last week released a poll that said 67% of Republican Hill staffers would consider dating a Democrat, but only 44% of Democrats would consider dating a Republican. And so we have this mentality where individuals have selected themselves into an ideology. Overwhelmingly, Democrats will not affiliate with Republicans. Personally, not reaching across the aisle in politics, but personally won't affiliate with them. And so it is easier to dehumanize and call somebody you don't agree with a Nazi. And it's really a shame. When I was chairman of the Arlington Young Republicans, we actually frequently did joint events with the Arlington Young Democrats, community service events and other things about a decade ago. And I just don't think Democrats would allow that kind of thing now.
No, they would not. They are unhinged. And has that really been 3 years since you started doing hits on this program?
2023. So we're at 2.5. I went to public school, Dan. I don't know how to do math.
All right. So real quick, Matthew Hurtt, Shifty Schiff. What is the feeling in Washington, D.C. about him leaking that classified information ultimately to sell this whole notion of Russian collusion?
Adam Schiff is not a trusted source in Washington. He is one of the most far left politicians, and there's just not a lot that people say outside of, this is something that just plays into the story that confirms what we already knew.
Right.
This is trumped up to attack somebody that the Democrats didn't like. All of this is just part of the story, and I think this is going to unravel. The American people are going to see what the Democrats were willing to do to steal an election, quite frankly.
Yeah, you know what? I actually agree with you on that, and that's what they were trying to do. And he was ultimately angry because that Donald Trump won. He wanted to be the head of the CIA under Hillary. And when Donald Trump won, he went out on this effort. And I think this was obviously, if there's any collusion, it is with the Democrats, whether it's in the Oval Office with Obama, the intel agencies with John Brennan and James Clapper, all of these folks, down into the House of Representatives and the Intel Committee with Adam Schiff, with Schiff. And so,
and Dan, these are individuals. People on the Intelligence Committee are given access to classified information at a higher level than most members of Congress, and they are trusted to withhold and hold on to that information. There are secrets about our intelligence community and about foreign interactions that most of Congress doesn't know, and certainly the American people don't know. And this is a violation of the trust. People are elected at the trust of the people who voted for them, but individuals who are on committees like Select Intelligence Committee and others are held at a higher standard, and this is it's unconscionable.
All right, real quick, you are in Arlington, you're in Washington, D.C. What is the response, very quickly, to the National Guard coming in and trying to keep the peace?
Oh, reasonable people support it. There were 7 crimes over the last 2 years that were committed that were high profile. The former DOJ staffer who was attacked last week, a congressional intern who was shot dead several weeks ago. The 2 Israeli embassy staffers were shot and killed a couple of months ago. These are high profile crimes that put it on the front page. We also know that the Washington Police Department were manufacturing violent crime results. So the drop in crime, we don't even know if that's true. And many people who live in the area, and especially tourists who come here through the summer, want a safe place. But I've seen story after story after story of people who are not journalists covering for the left and in an opposition to Donald Trump who have said, I don't feel safe on the metro after 5 p.m. And as someone who goes into D.C., Arlington is in Virginia, but we're right across the river. I can tell you there are neighborhoods that I'm not going to go to if I were to go out on a Thursday or Friday or Saturday night, just because there are gunfights almost every weekend. You've got hundreds of teens, 16, 17, 18-year-old young people who are in Navy Yard. It's just not safe, and reasonable people in the D.C. area are supportive of Donald Trump's federal takeover of law enforcement in D.C.
Well, they're saying that, they're accusing Donald Trump of being authoritarian, and I think for the president, he is doing what he needs to do to try to clean up Washington, D.C., and he's probably going to do it maybe in New York, maybe in other cities as well, like Chicago. What do you think the reaction would be?
I think that Washington, D.C. is a test case. The National Guard was sent in during the L.A. riots in 1992. They were sent in to Memphis after the Martin Luther King shooting in the 60s, and we're dealing with crime at that level in some of those instances because it is unpredictable where it's going to take place. People who a decade ago you could say, okay, Southeast D.C. is unsafe, we're not going to go there. D.C. was becoming safer, but now it is all over the place, and so Washington will be a test case. Yep. There are other cities that I think would welcome it. Mm-hmm. You said in the last segment that there are Black Americans who feel unsafe in their own neighborhood, and they are unwilling to call the police because the police won't respond, and if they do, there'll be retribution against the people who live there. It hurts their home values. Many Black homeowners in places like Washington, D.C., it diminishes their home value and diminishes their own security.
Thank you, Matt Hurtt. How can people follow you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter or X at Matthew Hurtt, MattheWHurtt.
All right. Thank you very much. It is amazing, Joan. You've been working with me for how long now? About a year at least?
We're almost at anniversary point.
Okay.
What are you going to get her?
Hopefully better shows. It is amazing how quickly things on this radio broadcast can spiral out of control so quickly.
Yeah.
So I was just doing the Zentex ad where you get a free Kohler toilet when you mention WTN. Guy says, how appropriate, Dan, for your show, because it goes down the crapper every day.
Oh.
At that point,
Wow.
I said, I'm done.
Oh.
No more super text from me today. Mm-mm. In fairness, I've heard every single host on this station, past and present, mispronounce stuff. You know what the thing is, though, about my mispronunciations? Or is it mispronunciations? Is that it's that with me, it is done so spectacularly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah, you do it with a lot of confidence.
I do.
That's how you get away with it, though. Like, if you can
I
say
did
it
not.
with confidence.
Did you see the Super? I didn't say it with confidence. When I tried to the funny thing is, I still can't say it. Authoritarian.
There you go. You did it.
Did I do it?
No.
Nailed it.
Mm-mm.
Authoritarian.
Chris, say tour.
Tour.
So, Chris and I both said it right, didn't we, Joan? Authoritarian?
Did I say it wrong too?
Authoritarian?
No, you kind of skip over the I sound in the middle.
You know what?
Authoritarian.
It's okay because I've banned that word from my vocabulary.
Okay.
TB on the
Good
text line wants to know who your favorite baseball player is. Said his is Arthur-tarian.
I got the tour super texter. Sally said that Dan may not be able to pronounce authoritarian, but Chris Hand cannot pronounce tour.
There you go.
Got a text from James. Said, don't worry. The other day, Murphy was talking to Blackburn. Said, you're going to run for the governor of Alabama.
He did. I
did
heard.
say
See, that's the thing. It's moments like that make me feel better about myself.
There you go.
And Murphy can found out more information.
Ooh.
In his recorded ad.
There's a
is
commercial
there
that
really?
apparently runs where Murphy Show says
Found out more information.
You can found out more information online.
that's okay. What was the other word that oh my goodness.
Equity, that one tripped you up.
Equity. Well, see, when I shanked equity just a few moments ago,
Equity.
it was because I was still thinking about the other word that I'm no longer going to say. And so, but that's how it goes. Everything just starts, completely cratering. He let out an F-bomb.
I heard it on the air.
So he's just messing with us. So Chris did two things that were funny today. Joan said that Chris was going to be late because of problems on I-24.
Yeah, I heard it in the traffic report.
So every day,
Joan.
Yeah, the one where I threw you under the bus, Chris?
Yep.
Gotcha.
every day, it's the same thing with me and Chris. This is behind the scenes. I'm going to the bathroom. Chris is sitting in the newsroom. I can't see Chris, but I say, hey, Chris. He always says, hey, back. So I say, hey, Chris. Nothing. Silence. And I'm like, did I actually say, oh, shh?
I think you did.
Like, oh, no.
It was more like,
Of all the days when I'm completely butchering words, Chris is going to be late, and that leaves more time for me to suck some more. And so then I turned the corner, and there was Chris. Very good. Very well played.
You're welcome.
And then I came in, and he said, you said, man, are you guys going to get in trouble?
I said, you're going to get in trouble for that, are you?
Yeah. And I said, for what? And he says, for the F-bomb that you let on the air. And I'm like, and then I start arguing with him. I know darn right well he's messing with me.
He was sweating a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, some real news here. CNN is saying 3 dead in that flooding in East Tennessee.
Goodness gracious.
More than 6 inches of rain fell. 3 dead, including a child in Tennessee flooding.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean that storm that came through the here in Middle Tennessee started about 1:00 in the morning, and it was just relentless.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that were woken up by the lightning and the thunder and all of that.
Totally caught by surprise on the roads. Like,
Yeah.
I did not expect to not be able to see. That rain was coming down so hard. So hard.
And I saw a whole bunch of sky to ground lightning, and it was just really bad.
And I got to tell you, it's not out of here. Like in this immediate area, yeah, it is. But if you travel down toward the Tullahoma, Manchester, McMinnville area, it is still pouring cats and dogs.
All right, very good. Chris is smirking, and I'm a little worried as to why.
People are making fun of me on the text line.
Oh, are they good?
I didn't
Let's
want to
hear it.
interrupt actual news, though.
Yeah.
It probably looked weird, though, because you're talking about flooding, and this slow smile creeps across my face
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
like,
YouTube
oh,
stream.
no, what is Chris going to say? What are people making fun of you for the word tour?
No, they're saying I break twice an hour for the noose.
You do that.
I know.
You always say that. You say noose, and I don't know why you do that.
What do you mean? I don't say anything weird.
You
Say
do.
noose.
You say noose.
News.
I'm hearing noose.
I'm hearing noose.
It's all right.
But they're also suggesting, Dan, say inconspicuous.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Inconspicuous?
Nailed
go.
it.
What about Worcestershire sauce?
Worcestershire sauce.
That's the correct pronunciation. It's
Worcestershire.
ire.
Yeah, it's
No, it's
Worcestershire.
not.
Worcestershire.
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 No, Worcestershire.
It's Shire, man.
Where's the 2 E's back to back in sheer? It's Worcestershire.
Wrong.
Yeah, you guys
Worcestershire.
can be wrong.
You know what, Sam?
And it's
Look
not
it up.
tour.
Look it up. Look it up with that
It's
lady that
tour.
pronounces stuff.
You use the Google thing?
Yeah, the Google where the lady says it.
Do you
Worcestershire.
use that often?
What?
The Google lady?
Clearly not. All right, real quick. Make sure I'm up. This is John. You know John Oliver?
Heard of him.
So apparently Chuck Schumer has this really weird thing that he does where he has made up some constituents, and John Oliver called him out.
Hold on. Wait. A Democrat lying?
I know, it's crazy.
But I actually want to talk less about Chuck Schumer himself and more about two of his favourite people, Joe and Eileen Bailey. They're a couple that throughout Schumer's career, he has talked about a lot.
They're a middle-class couple in Massapequa, which is a suburb on Long Island.
Joe and Eileen Bailey, this middle-class couple, they bought into Reagan Republicanism in 1980. Joe and Eileen are worried about losing their jobs or their friends' jobs.
The Baileys really don't believe in trickle-down. They don't believe in a whole lot of government spending, but they believe in tax breaks for kids to go to college.
He's an insurance adjuster and lives in the New York suburbs. By New York standards, he makes $50,000 a year. If he lived in the middle of the country, he'd make $40,000. Wife works in a medical office. She makes about $20,000. She might make $15,000 elsewhere. And, you know, I have guided my political life through the Baileys.
The Baileys have guided Chuck Schumer's political life, which is a little weird given they don't exist. Seriously, he invented them.
Yeah, he invented these people, and he's been talking about them for decades.
What happened? Did like a Democrat staffer make like, this is your typical voter? And like, you know, kind of like we do that at the radio station. We'll break it down, the listener profile. Okay, they're probably this age. They're making this kind of money. This is what they look like.
Yeah.
So somebody did that for him, and then he went, wow, these look like great people.
Yeah, and he just
ran with it for 20 years.
For 20 years.
Schumer first introduced the world to the Baileys in his 2007 book, Positively American, Winning Back the Middle-Class Majority, One Family at a Time. In it, he mentions the Baileys an astonishing 265 times.
Oh, my gosh. Now, here's my hot take on this, is that Chuck Schumer, he can't lower himself to speak to actual constituents, so he makes it up.
Well, he makes everything up. What do you think is more offensive, him and the way he cooks hamburgers or him making fun of the Baileys?
We actually talked about that earlier. And do you know what some people put on hamburgers?
What's that?
Worcestershire sauce.
Oh, is that?
All right, so do we have a pronunciation from the Google pronunciation lady?
I don't agree with Google.
Well, because you're wrong. Many texters are saying that they call it wash your sister sauce.
Wash your sister
Like
sauce.
I've gotten about literally 3 or 4 of these.
How many of those texts are coming from Alabama?
You never know.
All right, so can we play the Google lady? Let's see what she says.
She says Worcestershire. All right. I don't want to. It
Yeah,
hurts.
but here's the deal, though. Joan is from the north, and Chris is from the north. A couple of northerners, they don't know how to say stuff.
The Great North, according to some texters.
So you're gonna play it? You're just gonna
Worcestershire.
There you go.
Worcestershire. Well,
Worcestershire.
play it one more time. Shut up, John.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. That's not right.
It is. It is.
It's really not. Whatever.
Just take the bullet. Really?
What am I in Memphis?
It'd be more than one if you were in Memphis, Dan.
Chris was telling me about this. I'm not
Fast cash, see money, baby.
fast cash, see money.
Gosh.
R.I.P.
Yes. So I was considering talking about it, and then I asked Sam, "Is this dude an actual rapper?" Because a lot of these guys are like
Fast cash,
wannabe
see money.
rappers.
No, they got some subs. They're doing all right.
Fast cash, see money.
Yeah, he's one half of the Fast Cash Boys.
Oh, it's a whole group?
Yep. Well, it's a duo.
Do they run a quick loan business on the side?
No, they don't. They don't. I think they were running some sort of business on the side. The way they turned that neighborhood into Baghdad.
Oh yeah,
when he was gunned down, dude. It was crazy.
So there's a video of it. You're gonna tweet it out?
Well, I played it on the show yesterday.
Okay.
But I mean, it's just a lot of gunfire.
You hear what happens in these cities and the videos, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. And you're right, it does sound like Baghdad.
And you wonder why the local residents aren't like, hey, can you come to Memphis next, please, Mr. Trump?
That's the thing. I would be willing to bet if you put on, armor, bulletproof vest, maybe a helmet, and you walk through the streets of Memphis in the bad areas.
You get robbed for your armor and your bulletproof vest and your helmet.
And your recorder, because I'd want you to ask people, hey, what would you think about Donald Trump bringing the military in or the National Guard in to get rid of all these bad guys? What would you say? I'd be willing to bet a lot of them would say yes.
Oh, 100%. I was watching some resident videos out of D.C. Older black woman, probably in her 60s, 70s, early 70s. She's like, I'm too old for this. I'm so grateful that Donald Trump has come in and federalized the police force because somebody like me, I need some help staying safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Because those streets aren't safe. They clearly are not safe. So I got a note from the Home Office. On the no, you know what she says? It's Worcestershire. So even Amy is chiming in with yet another "you're wrong, Dan."
Yeah, you can't. It's not Worcestershire. We're not doing a Lord of the Rings thing here. We're just not. TB texted and he said, "Make it easy on yourself, Dan. Just use A1 sauce."
Steak sauce. That's what it is, man. It's steak sauce.
That's what it is. And then we're getting a lot of texts about individuals asking me to say Massachusetts towns.
Okay.
Like Peabody and Worcester.
Yes. And Worcester is spelled...
Worcester.
Worcester. That's right. Worcester.
Yeah. Just like the sauce.
I applied for a job in Worcester.
Oh, dude, you dodged a bullet.
Well, I was like 19, so...
You still did. 100%. Let's
see here. So go ahead and do park the car.
Park the car. Park the car.
Park the car.
Pass me my khakis.
Your khakis? Don't you wear them on your legs?
Yeah, your car keys. Yeah.
Tell me you're taking your bag to your room.
Huh?
Bag to your room.
I'm going to take my bag to my room?
Rum.
Rough.
So suddenly me attempting to say authoritarian is
still pretty bad. Still pretty bad.
Just I can't do it, man.
Still pretty shanked.
You did a wicked piss of job today, Dan. Good job. Good job, bud. Good job, guy.
When this show goes in the crapper, it really does go in the crapper.
No wonder Busy Bee's offering a free toilet.
That's Zentex.
Zentex.
Oh, be careful.
Zentex is offering. It is appropriate, though, if you think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
The first time that I read that, I actually started giggling a little bit because I just thought that is so perfect for the morning show.
It fits.
All right, let's see. What are we doing? What do you got coming
We're going to talk about the Texas Democrats that bent the knee. We're going to talk about the fallout in D.C., the federalization of the police force. Plus, there's a rumor online. Did John Brennan flee to Austria? We'll talk about all that and more.
No.
That's what I'm hearing.
Huh.
Some actually very high-profile people are making this case.
Really?
Yep.
All right, do you have the audio? Do you have this knucklehead?
Tell us what the chain of command is now. What does that mean?
The chain of command lady?
I played that in real time yesterday.
Oh, did you? Oh, was that in real time yesterday?
It was beautiful.
How does she not know what the chain of command is? Pamela Smith.
She's an idiot. She was the chief equity officer before she got the chief gig. So I don't want to say she's a DEI hire, but she's a DEI hire.
She has significant experience as a law enforcement person.
Does she?
She does. 1998, she began her career as a patrol officer.
They didn't have chain of commands back then?
Apparently. They may have had a chain of commands when she was a canine handler.
Maybe.
Or maybe chains, just not chain of commands.
You talking to me like a dog? Ma'am? Ma'am, no.
This is a Wendy's.
Yes.
On and on.
Tell us what the chain of command is now. What does that mean?
That's so funny.
Nobody knows. It's a mystery, actually.
What does that even... I don't even understand how...
Ma'am, this is part of the problem. This is why we're federalizing D.C.
Yes, that is exactly right. All right, real quick. This one, too. I've been having fun with Simone Sanders today.
You don't think more police make streets safer?
No, Joe. I'm a black woman in America. I do not always think that more police make streets safer. When you walk down the streets of Georgetown, you don't see a police officer on every corner, but you don't feel unsafe. So what is it about talking about places like Southeast D.C., right? Ward 8, if you will, that people say, well, we need more officers to make us safe. I think we have to rethink what safety means in America.
Rethink what safety means in America. I don't understand that.